When I have fears that I may cease to be, by John Keats, 1795 to 1821. When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain, before high-piled books in charact'ry hold like rich garners the full-ripen'd grain, when I behold upon the night's starr'd face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance, and think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance, and when I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more, never have relish in the faery power of unreflecting love, then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone, and think till love and fame to nothingness do sink. Okay, this is a sonnet by John Keats. Let's see, Keats was born in London, and he's one of the great romantic poets. This poem is about his fear of death. It's about his desire to leave a literary legacy behind him. And he's worried that he's going to die before realizing his potential. And this poem was actually written 3 years before he died, because Keats actually died at the age of 25. And that was a great tragedy. I'm certain he would have done much more had he lived. So it's a very sad reflection on that he's worried that he won't have time to do all of the things that, or write all of the works that he wanted to write. And this poem is about the transience of beauty, the transient of art. It's about the fact that nothing lasts, that beauty doesn't last, and it's linking his personal experience, I think, with his artistic expression. Let's see, Keats was a medical student. He was studying to become a doctor, and he was a dresser. He dressed wounds in the hospital, and I'm sure in the hospital he saw many people die. And I think this poem, he's thinking about his mortality, and he's worried. He's thinking about death and the meaninglessness of death. That after he dies, then there will be no more love. He won't be able to be with his love again. He won't be able to write the poetry that he loves writing. And it's about his fear of death. When I have fears that I may cease to be, so when I'm afraid I may stop being, I may die, before my pen has glean'd my teeming brain. So my brain, my head is full of ideas, it's full of concepts, it's full of things, and I'm worried that I'm going to die before I've written down all of these things that my brain is full of. Before high-piled books in charact'ry hold like rich garners the full-ripen'd grain. So I'm worried that I'm going to die before I've filled lots of books with text, with writing, with poetry about these ideas in my head. And these books would be like a garner, a granary full of ripe grain. So the farmer harvests the grain and he puts it in a granary. Well, here the simile is well, the metaphor, it's a metaphor in this case. No, it's a simile. This is before he can fill his books with writing, with poems, and this is something that he can leave to posterity. When I behold upon the night's starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance, and think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance. So when I look up at the night, I look at the starry night, the face of the night, and look at these romantic symbols of love, of chivalry, symbols of all of the things that I see. And then I think that I may never live long enough to convert these symbols, convert these things that I see with my poetic hand. So I think with the magic hand of chance, with my skill as an artist, because I think as a poet, because I think he's quite proud of his poetic ability. So I look at the night sky, I look at the stars, the beauty of the stars, the romance, which are stars which are symbols of high romance, and then I feel bad. I think, well, maybe I'm never going to be able to have time to write about all of these things. When I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more. And now I think he's talking about his girlfriend, Fanny Brawn. And then he's saying, when I think that maybe I will never be able to look at you again, that I shall never look upon thee more. And this is saying that beauty doesn't last. So notice, she is beautiful. She is a fair creature of an hour. So yes, she's beautiful now, but that beauty will go. That beauty will disappear. That this beauty is not something that's permanent. And if I die, I will never be able to look at you again. Never have the relish in the fairy power. Never have relish in the fairy power of unreflecting love. That I won't be able to experience the magic power of love. Notice this word unreflecting. To reflect means to think about something here. So he's saying that love is an emotion. It's not something that you think about. It's not rational. It's not through thought. It's just something that you feel. And I will, if I die, I won't be able to enjoy the magic of spontaneous love. So if I die, I won't see you anymore. Then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone and think. So now if all of these are true, at the moment I'm standing on the edge of the world, I'm standing on the edge of everything, and I'm thinking, and I will think and continue to think till love and fame to nothingness do sink. So I'm standing here depressed, thinking that everything could come to nothing. That time is short. That time is shorter than I could possibly imagine. And I feel that fame doesn't matter, that love doesn't matter. Perhaps faced with death, love and fame, these are things that are not important. So when I think about the fact that I could die at any moment, then love and fame don't seem to matter anymore, because there are more important things. Okay, so he's considering his mortality. He's thinking about dying before he does all of the things that he wants to achieve in life. And he wants to be creative and write poems about all of his thoughts and of the beautiful things, but he's worried about dying. He also wants to be forever with his love, who's going to be Fanny Brawn, and finally he realizes that he has to accept that death is inevitable, and he can fight with fate, but death is something that is outside his control, that he may not live long enough to do all of the things that he wants to do. He's also very afraid of being completely isolated by death, and he may never again be with his love. And then all of this he finds a very depressing thing, because death is inevitable, and therefore love and fame are just empty things. No matter how much he wants to be loved or how much he wants to be famous, death comes to each person alone. On the shore of the wide world, I stand alone. So, When I Have Fears That I May Cease to Be, by Keats.